An ordinary family encounters ghosts in their own home after purchasing an antique mirror. To get rid of them, they summon paranormal experts. The action of the film, based on real events, begins in 1964. Young spouses Ed and Lorraine Warren, having just begun studying paranormal phenomena, are speaking with a woman named Victoria. When Victoria found the body of her father, the owner of an antique shop who had hanged himself, she felt the presence of a certain evil entity lurking among the old things. Being a medium, the pregnant Lorraine inspects the shop. Her attention is drawn to an antique mirror framed by 3 cherubs. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me," she thinks before touching it. The amalgam surface cracks, gifting the medium with a terrifying vision involving her infant. From what she sees, Lorraine goes into labor. Ed rushes his wife to the hospital, driving recklessly on the rain-soaked highway. At the clinic, the situation worsens when the power goes out, but the obstetrician delivers the baby anyway. But there were complications. The umbilical cord was wrapped around the infant neck, causing it to be born dead. Taking the child in her arms, Lorraine prays fervently, and a miracle happens. The girl suddenly starts breathing. The Warrens raise their daughter named Judy and dote on her. Thus, 22 years pass. In 1986, the story shifts to the town of West Pittston, Pennsylvania, to the Smurl family. The middle daughter, Heather, is due for her confirmation ceremony, which the whole family joyfully celebrates, even recording it on a video camera in the church. In the evening at dinner, grandfather gifts Heather that very same cursed mirror with a crack left after Lorraine. Although the girl doesn't like the gift and the dog barks frantically at it, she pretends to be delighted. After this, the candle on the celebratory cake goes out by itself and a lamp falls from the ceiling, its shards cutting the birthday girl's forehead. Meanwhile, the Warrens are giving lectures on paranormal phenomena to students who openly mock them. Over lunch with the now-grown Judy, it turns out they no longer personally go out to investigate every case due to Ed's heart problems. The doctor told him explicitly that he wouldn't survive another attack. Suddenly, the daughter starts muttering a nursery rhyme. Her mother taught her to calm down and drive away bad thoughts. Lorraine supports Judy by taking her hand, but suddenly sees a demonic paw on her daughter's shoulder. Janet Smurl, going about her household chores, goes down to the basement to do laundry. There, she sees a sinister silhouette of a man in the dark, which, when the lights are turned on, turns out to be a portrait hanging on the wall. Later, while cooking dinner in the kitchen and chatting on the phone, she feels someone pulling the handset by the cord from the dark pantry, but no one is found in the closet when the light is switched on. At the same time, one of the younger twin daughters is looking for her doll. It crawled into the next room, where it suddenly rises into the air. It is held by a terrifying old woman with a horrible smile and a gray face. However, at dinner, no one in the family believes the girl. Nevertheless, later Heather and her older sister Dawn decide to get rid of the creepy mirror. Dragging it down the stairs, they leave the gift by the dumpsters. In the morning, garbage collectors take the thrown-out mirror along with the bags. It gets crushed inside the truck's compactor. At that moment, during breakfast, Dawn begins to vomit uncontrollably, including blood. Ed Warren is celebrating his birthday. Judy brings her boyfriend Tony to the event. He is very interested in her parents' research activities. He even asks the guests if they have seen exorcism rituals. The girl visits her old nursery during this time. Suddenly, the room is shrouded in darkness, and the devilish doll Annabelle is reflected in the mirror. She is clearly unhappy that Judy has become the audience favorite. This is despite the fact that Annabelle herself has 3 solo movies under her belt. But as soon as Judy recited the rhyme, the vision dissipated. After a friendly ping-pong match with Ed, Tony seizes the moment to tell him and Lorraine that he wants to propose to their daughter. The woman gives the go-ahead, while the man asks him to wait a little longer. However, Judy returns unexpectedly, sees the ring, and immediately agrees. The Smurl family is deciding what to do about the ghosts in the house. Dawn argues with her father, believing he doesn't trust them. He himself hasn't felt the paranormal influence yet. However, at night, the man suddenly begins to levitate above the bed. A ghost sitting on him is reflected in the mirror. Heather rewatches the recording of her confirmation. At the moment with the birthday cake, she notices something suspicious and rewinds the tape to pause it. The girl sees that when the candle went out, A ghostly face appeared next to her for an instant. Then she notices two glowing eyes above the television, but it turns out to be a reflection from porcelain dishes. In the headlights of cars passing outside, a man with an axe suddenly attacks Heather. The girl's heart-rending scream wakes her mother and interrupts her father as levitation. After this, doubting the supernatural becomes foolish. To find a solution to the problem, the Smurls report the incident to the media and the church. The priests do not react as quickly as the journalists. Father Gordon also arrives at the cursed house, a priest and a good friend of the Warrens who has worked with them many times. He arrived on the day an unknown force pushed the grandmother down the stairs. She is taken away by an ambulance. After inspecting the house, he realizes that a powerful evil spirit has taken up residence there, after which he hurriedly heads to the bishop for help. At Judy's wedding dress fitting, left alone in the mirror-lined fitting room, she suddenly sees that some reflections do not mimic her movements. Then she senses someone is under the hem of the dress. Deciding the seamstress has returned, she calms down, but soon realizes someone else is hiding under the fabric, a creepy old woman. When the lights go out, the girl panics and recites the rhyme, after which the delusion dissipates. But then she notices her reflection pounding from inside the mirror before shattering the glass and grabbing her by the neck. Only her mother's appearance interrupts the vision. In the bishop's reception area, Father Gordon converses with the secretary to secure an audience. While awaiting the meeting, he is distracted by a nosebleed, after which he notices that there is no secretary at the desk. When the phone rings, he answers, and Judy's voice advises the priest to back off. The handle on the office door turns along with the engraved cross, after which the doors open, revealing darkness. Suddenly, the darkness thickens, and he shields himself from it with a crucifix. The cross bursts into flames right in his hand, scorching it. Beholding the darkness, the priest exits the reception room, yanks the power cord from a floor polisher, wraps it around his neck, and leaps into the stairwell. When Tony helps Ed fix a motorcycle, Ed, in gratitude, shows him the repository of cursed and possessed items collected with his wife over years of paranormal research. At that moment, they are informed of Father Gordon's death. After the funeral ceremony, Judy lags behind the others briefly to touch the coffin. The medium-esque gift, inherited from her mother, awakens within her. The girl attempts to learn from the deceased colleagues where he died. At home, Lorraine awaits a case more terrifying than otherworldly demons, a mountain of dirty dishes. While washing them, she encounters a blockage caused by a locket containing a photograph of her daughter. Suddenly, the water in the sink turns into blood. It becomes so voluminous that the liquid spills over the edge, flooding half the kitchen. The woman is saved from the vision by her husband's arrival, after which Tony rings the doorbell with news. Judy has gone to Pennsylvania. Alarmed by a bad premonition, Lorraine, her husband, and their future son-in-law drive to West Pittston to the Smurl house, around which journalists flock like vultures anticipating a sensation. The couple finds their daughter inside the house. She arrived to help the owners, just as the late Father Gordon had intended to do. Lorraine wants to take her daughter and leave, but she persuades her mother to shake off the cobwebs, to save the unfortunate ordinary people from the spirits tormenting them. Giving in to her pleas, Ed retrieves a travel bag containing a Bible from the car, while Lorraine carefully inspects the house, including a lamp with galloping horses. While she listens to the emanations floating in the room, Judy photographs her mother. The girl realizes she has never seen her parents at work. The medium descends into the basement, where spirits call her, and sees the past. Once, a man lived in this house who hacked his wife and mother to death with an axe, then killed himself. Lorraine tells her husband about this but admits the problem is to him. Some powerful demon has awakened the spirits and is driving them to harm the current tenants. Meanwhile, Judy climbs to the attic to look around. Usually, if people see ghosts, the attic leaks. Under the roof, she finds a cursed mirror with cherubs and a crack. Suddenly, a piece of chalk rolls out from under it, writing a message on the walls, "Miss me." Then darkness gathers. In the dim light of a hand flashlight, the girl notices Annabelle. The demonic doll begins to grow to obscene sizes, pursuing Judy with the relentlessness of Huggy Wuggy. Her parents find her there, and the vision is interrupted. The Warrens go up to the attic and see the notorious mirror with which their career once began. The couple admits to the Smurls that in '64 they never finished the antique shop investigation, having fled from the cursed mirror after childbirth. But now they have gained experience, hardened up, and are ready to curse out any demon. They want to take the mirror to which the demon is tethered to their repository, as it cannot be destroyed. Only contained in safe conditions, with every step, the burden becomes heavier. Suddenly, the straps unbuckle, releasing the canvas cover and exposing the amalgam. Glancing into the reflection, Jack sees a ghost on the ceiling and falls down the hatch. Unable to hold the load alone, Ed drops the mirror. The frame breaks the homeowner's ankle. Outside, Tony is driving toward the house but sees an old woman on the road. Swerving, he rams the Smurl's fence. For added romance, rain begins to fall, and the electricity in the building goes out. Slamming the blown-open door, Lorraine sees the horse nightlight switched on in the room and her daughter sobbing. She was already feeling unwell after the fall, and now a demon has possessed her. The possessed Judy pushes her mother into the basement, after which the dog barks at her. The demon, like a true hellish beast, abuses the dog, hurling it against the wall. He is lucky John Wick hasn't been invented yet. On the stairs, Ed tries to reason with his daughter, but the demon inside her triggers another heart attack. Leaving her dad to collect his scattered pills, the possessed girl proceeds to the attic. Meanwhile, in the basement, Lorraine sees the ghost of the man with the axe, who buries the weapon in his spectral wife, Skull. He then chases the medium, pursuing her like an infernal Marilyn Manson. Only without the music. The woman is saved from a fatal blow by Tony, who opens the emergency hatch to the basement. Upon reaching the first floor, they rush the Smurls outside, while they themselves go to the attic for the possessed Judy. Upstairs, they see the girl dangling in a noose, the mirror demon's favorite modus operandi. The young man manages to resuscitate Judy, bringing her back from the other world for the second time in one life, whereas once upon a time, only Dean Winchester allowed himself such things. At that moment, the mirror rises into the air and begins to spin around its axis like an unwanted opinion. Then, freezing, the device tilts to the side and, breaking the railing, advances on the exorcists. Ed attempts to banish the demon with a prayer from the Bible, but the book bursts into flames right in his hands. Not losing his composure, he jabs it into the reflection, but this only angers the demon. At this moment, Lorraine remembers how she comforted her daughter in childhood by inventing that very poem. As soon as the women recite the rhyme, the infernal entity succumbs to the power of their love, and shattering the windows with a shockwave, evaporates. In the morning, having patched up their wounds, the Warren family leaves the Smurl house, taking the cursed artifact with them. Upon delivering it to the storage room, Ed hands the keys to Tony. The young man proved himself worthy, demonstrating that he can continue their family business. Then the story shifts to Tony and Judy's wedding, where even James Wan, creator of the Conjuring franchise, is present among the guests. The film ends with a historical note. Although the Warrens were mocked in scientific circles, they are now considered pioneers of paranormal research. They were married for 60 years. Ed died at 79, and Lorraine lived to be 92. They left behind an occult museum where, at this very moment, among other exhibits, the cursed mirror is kept. Well, friends, I hope you found it interesting. If so, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to always be aware of new releases. And in the comments, write what you think. Your opinion is really important. See you in the next video.